Hello and welcome to the highlights package of the game between Redditch and Avoncroft on the 9th of July 2022. This is the rematch of the game where Alex Brunt scored 200 not out at home earlier in the season in a very high scoring 300 plus game. So I'm expecting, given that Alex is back again this week, that this will too be a very high scoring game. Pick up the action with Josh and Paul Athy bowling. Redditch made a reasonably slow start so far, but they are building a bit of momentum now and starting to free their shoulders and hit some boundaries. The Croft have got a pretty young side out today with actually only 3 players over the age of 30, so they should be reasonably energetic in the field. We've also got Harvey behind the stumps, one of the new up and coming players at the Croft. So Paul in there, it's close to a run out. Bowled that one a little bit longer and batsman pounced on it and piloted it away for 4. Dan Elliott replacing Josh from the top. Bowling pretty tight on his first over. In fact, bowling a maiden for his first over. Paul similarly bowling very tight and building pressure with a second maiden in a row, pegging the Redditch batsman back a little bit. Dan's bowled that one a little bit shorter, being carted away for 6. Roki down on that one quickly to prevent the boundary. That one's gone away for 4 more. Dan in again. Cut that away. That's gone running away to the boundary as well. That's 4 more. It's gone a little bit of the distance there following the maiden. It shows that they are pushing on as quickly as they can. At this stage, Redditch are going at about 4 and over, which, to be honest, with the Avoncroft batting lineup, probably isn't quick enough, so they will have to push on. Al Rich has replaced Dan Elliott from the top. Has promptly got a wicket. Beautifully caught by Rowan in the covers. Not sure the batsman was particularly enjoying that. Full bunger from Alex. Got the treatment. But only gone away for 1. Another one very close. So Paul from the bottom. Big shout for LBW, fingers straight up from the league umpire, and that's 2 down for 62. Alex continuing from the top end, causing all manner of problems still. Batsman struggling to really get him away. And that's another maiden for the Croft, build in pressure on these 2 batsmen. Batsman's just flicked that one off his pads. Not a run away for 2 runs. Oh, slipped through. Gone for buzzers. Paul really not looking chuffed with that at all. And they're running 2 more. In fact, 3 more. So Al Rich in again. Floated it up high. That's gone up. Way up in the air. Dan Elliott underneath it. And he shelled it. He's taken an absolute flash at that. That's gone racing away to the boundary for 4. That's a lovely drive as well. Follow that up. More buzzers, unfortunately. Paul looking pretty exasperated. That said, I think it was a really good toss to win because it is so hot out there. Paul continuing to toil away. That one's been cut away for 4. He's cut another one away. Let's run away to the boundary for 4 more. Alex continuing. He's got hold of that one. That's gone away for 4 more runs. So Josh replacing Paul from the bottom. Big appeal, not out that time. And he's got hold of that. That's gone way over towards the sight screens. 1 bounce, and that's 4. Alex in again. It's gone up to Dan once again, and this time he takes the catch. That sees the end of Faheen Shahid for 41, the opener, playing a terrific innings. Josh continuing from the bottom. Went a little bit close. Al Richardson comes in. That's been absolutely smashed away for 6 runs, and that brings up the 50. So spin at both ends now with Duncan Roke replacing Josh from the bottom. Getting a little bit of turn with his off spin. Nicely fielded by Josh in the deep, keeping that down to a single. That one's just been bludgeoned away to the boundary for 4 runs. Duncan doesn't look particularly pleased with that one. That one's raced away as well to the boundary. So spin from the other end. Alex Richardson, big shout. Not out this time. Oh, and that's a lovely shot. Straight past Alex, down to the boundary. 4 runs. Beat the outside edge. Tentative appeal from Duncan. Not out this time. Alex continuing. Rizwan just smashed that over the boundary for 6. He's really accelerating the run rate here for Redditch. At the moment they could be looking at 350 or even 400. So Alex finishes from the top, and Ben Warwick has taken over and promptly hit away for 4. Duncan went close with that one, and is promptly carted away. Doesn't look too impressed with that one. 4 more runs. That's 4 more. And brings up a terrific 100 for Rizwan. Looks in the mood to go on and make a big one as well. Al switching ends. It's promptly swatted away for 6. He's gone big again. I think that might have been dropped. So young Rowan has come on after the drinks break. He's bowled a very tidy over so far. That one's gone away, but kept it back to 2. He's run down the pitch to Rowan there. Got hold of it, and that one's gone away for 6. Still bowling a very tidy line and length. Oh, and that's an absolute beauty. And sees the end of the captain for 20 runs. Alex has dropped that just a little bit short and he's tucked into it and smashed it over the top for 6 runs. And that's a lovely shot. That's gone away for another boundary. Rowan keeping it reasonably tidy from the top. That boundary will see 150 up for Rizwan. So Al Richardson in again. And he's again carved into that one, and that's gone away for 6 more runs. These two really accelerating the rate at this point. That one's pitched and turned and bowled Rizwan, all ends up. Sees the end of him from a very quick fire, 159. As we come into the final few overs of this innings, Josh has replaced Al Richardson and promptly bowled Lockenoth for 9 runs. He's gone big with that, went way up. Unfortunately, then Warwick shelled that one. Dan's going for a slightly short pitched bowling approach. Seems to be quite effective here in these death overs. I'll now hand over to Duncan Roke for a summary of the Redditch innings.
Okay, so the Croft managing to put it back in the last 10 overs. Some really good bowling from Rowan Levy. Pretty average in the field, the usual suspects. But yeah, the less said about that, the better.
So in reply to what is a challenging target set by Redditch of 316 for 6, Josh, the captain, has decided to put Alex Brunt in to open on the back of his 200 not out against Redditch in the home fixture earlier this season. I guess in many ways just to psych them out a little bit. I think he'll have to reload that one. But Al Bud's gone for an absolute big swish across the line. Missed it. Ball's hit the top of the bails. That sees the end of Al, I'm afraid, for just 1 run. Looks like a fair bit of chat out in the field at the moment. Some enthusiastic appeals. Josh tweaked that one. That one's just run away to the boundary. It's a really quick outfield here. Dry, hot day today. Anything that beats the infield, it just runs away for 4 runs. That one, however, didn't need to touch the turf, as Josh has gone right over the top of the clubhouse with that one. That one, on the other hand, has gone straight through Dan for 4 byes. Held the pose there as Dan's driven that one away for 4. And the bowler's put that one straight onto Josh's pads. He's just turned it around the corner for 4 more runs. Unlike a Redditch, however, Dan and Josh are really getting the Croft away to a flyer. And there's 4 more runs for Josh. And we're well ahead of the rate at this stage with Josh seeing every ball like a football and crushing it away to the boundary. Batsman's just dropped that a little bit short. Dan pounced on it. 1 bounce, 4 runs. Josh has bludgeoned another one way over the club. I think they've lost that ball. That's 6 more. He's bowled that one a little bit full tossy, and Dan's popped it over his shoulder. 6 runs. He's given that a lot of air, and that's beaten Dan. Quite close. Josh has got into another one. 6 runs there, and that looks to be, that's 6 more. That sees Josh already past his 50. As Dan premeditated a little sweep on that one, but had to pull out. And that's driven away for 4 more. It's almost taken Dan out, but that's just a single down to long on. Dan just punching that one away for 4. That boundary will see Dan bring up his 50. Fairly muted celebration at this stage from Josh and Dan, as they know that there's still a long way to go to the 316 scored by Redditch in the first innings. Josh, however, is loving this bowler from the bottom with a slightly unusual action. He's hitting him for boundary after boundary at the moment. That one went way up, and to be honest should have been taken on the boundary, but he's ended up tipping it over the boundary for 4 more runs. Josh has got hold of that one again, and that's 4 more to the total. Dan's cut that one away, down to 3rd man, and that's 4 more. That was close, big appeal for a stumping, not out. Amazed they can actually play, to be honest, looking at those shorts that Matt Palmer's wearing. Must be getting quite a glare. So, Josh in on his pads, cut away, leg side, and that brings up a really quick fire 100 for Josh. Man on a mission to chase down this biggish score set by Redditch in the first innings. So, bowler in, Josh onto it quickly. It's gone right onto the roof of the pavilion. Losing ball after ball. Josh in again. Looks like 6 more. And it is. Josh just can't miss at the moment. Just smashing 6s and 4s all around the ground, and there's 4 more. Big appeal. Didn't move his foot anywhere near out of the crease. And there's 4 more. Down here, let's take a big swish of that right across his stumps, and he's hit the wickets. Haven't seen that since Duncan Roke did it at Martley just a few weeks ago. With that, I'll hand over to the former chairman and former president, Rod Braithwaite and Pete Whitehead.
Oh, very fine performance by the team again today, led by the 2 brilliant opening bats that we have here, and all I can say is it was well worth me paying 500 quid and travelling 1,000 miles to come back to watch this game from the Algarve, where the weather was terrible and it was only 40 degrees.
And you queued up all through the airport.
And I queued for hours in the airport, but it's made my day and I feel a lot better.
So the wicket of Dan Elliott has brought our gun bat, Will Baker, into the crease. Albeit at this stage, Josh just continues to pepper the pavilion with 6s. It's nicely popped away right into the corner for 2 more runs for Will Baker. Lovely little reverse sweep. And that's going to run away. Josh goes again, goes big, goes all the way to the boundary for 4 more runs. Josh goes again, straight through the hands of the bowler. That's 4 more. And there's another 6 from Josh. So Will Baker down the pitch, flicked it off one leg, and that's 4 runs. Down the pitch again. He's got hold of this one. It's gone right up in the air. Oh, both fielders collide. Dropped it straight down between them. Will Baker was walking off and then realised that they dropped it. So Lockenough into Josh. For once today, he's just caught a bottom edge, dragged it onto his stumps, and that was a terrific 168 from Josh, which has really seen us home today for what should turn out to be a 24-point victory. Will down the pitch again, caught that lovely and clean again, and that's another boundary. There's really not many runs left to get, and I think Will is pushing to try and get his second 50 for the club, which would, if he gets a red number, mean he's averaging over 100 in the 2 games that he's played for us so far. Will absolutely loving running down the pitch. He's carved that one away again. 4 more. Another little reverse paddle sweep. Got all the tricks in the book, Will, and that's another boundary. Into Duncan. Will smashes another one down the ground. That'll be 4 more. Down the ground again. Another one over the long boundary for 6. Chip that one away for 2 more. With that, I'll hand over to Duncan to round up the day's play.
So very well executed chase there. Dan managed to cloth it round for 75, but in the end fatigue got the better of him and he just fell on his sword and smashed his stumps to pieces with a hit wicket.
Seen that before?
Yeah, seen that before at Martley. And Josh Cowan batting really well, but then fatigue getting the better of him as well. But yeah, clinically finish with Will Baker not running a 2, so he can confirm his first 50 for the club. Well batted, Will.
I think you mean second 50. Don't forget, if you like the video, please like and subscribe.